Welcome to the Owens Surveying YouTube channel. I'm Nick Owens, and I'm going to take you on a surveying adventure today. Today we're going to do our flight, our LiDAR, a ground LiDAR, and we're going to lay just a little bit of location, and we're also going to run a few tests with our LiDAR today. We're going to use some reflective tape on some trees and see if that works. So come with me on this adventure. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's go. So we just finished our pre-flight flight, and that is whenever I take out our smaller drone, our DJI Mavic Mini. I like to take that out and really get an idea of how tall the trees are. If you can look around me, you can see that there are some very tall trees that we want to avoid our big drone hitting. You know, there's certain circumstances where that doesn't really matter. You know, whenever you're on flatter ground, flatter areas, and maybe say a football stadium or a parking lot, there's aspects of that where you can kind of look at the building or look at a structure and really kind of make a gameplay decision. But whenever we're in these dense foliage areas, we like to make sure that we have no risk. We want to make sure that everything is safe. Safety is number one is the number one aspect whenever you're an FAA drone pilot. You need to make sure that every time you fly your drone that you are going to be safe, making sure that you're safe, the drone's safe, and people are safe. It's really easy or it's not easy, but we're able to maneuver through this dense foliage and get an idea of how tall the trees are. Where should I fly my drone? How high should I fly my drone? And that is key. So whenever we fly, we want to be way up above the trees. And with the LiDAR aspect, you know, they recommend that you fly at about 140 to 200 feet. Whenever I was checking up earlier, looks like these trees are going to be right in that sweet spot for us. So we're going to fly this thing just a little bit higher today at about 185 feet, maybe even 200 feet. So with that, we're going to set up our base station and then we're going to be ready to go flying. So let's go. All right, so right now we're doing our TP nail. We're getting it nice and calibrated so we can do a little bit of location and then just look at the view right here behind us. Again, it feels like we're on top of the world, doesn't it? So here's our aerial targets. I'm gonna put this right here on our TP nail. We're gonna just kind of take this guy and fold it out. Make sure it's right on the TP nail. This aerial target's gonna help me orient all of the points that I take with my rover here. Come right here. Get out first tripod. Right. I like to get the bubble faced towards me this way. That way, whenever I get all of this connected, you can see that these are kind of hanging whenever I get this secure. Remember, just finger tight. You don't want to have this thing too tight. Or you might just not even be able to get it off of there. So now we're going to get our inlet base here. if you could see in the last video, which was our first video, which you should check out. I'm going to link that here up in the top and in the description below. So here's our inlet base here. We're going to put it in right here. We're going to put this antenna right here. If you can see that. Yeah. Antenna plug right in here. And the antenna is the exact same as how we want to tighten anything. Just finger tight. Boom. That's good. That feels good. So if you could tell in the last video, I tried to do this one-handed. We're not going to do that this time. We're just going to get this guy on here nice and safe, because we like to take care of our equipment too. All right. We're going to close this guy up. Let's go get it set up on the TP now. TP nail's right here, right below our aerial target. We're gonna get it set up right here, and we'll turn on the inlet, and we'll be ready to fly. Just like in our last video, we're gonna go in and just get this guy right on the nail. And if you can tell, I'm actually putting it with the aerial target on the TP nail. This is just to give me an additional look to see how I can find it. So you can see the TP nail right there. We're gonna try to get this in one go. Oh yeah. Push this guy there. Come over here, huh? No? Almost. Oh, probably just need to come back. We're almost there. Almost there. All right, we like that. Okay, so we'll come up here to our inlet. There it goes. All right, welcome back. So we took a little break there. You might notice that I'm in different garb. Got my toboggan on, got my hoodie on, got my thick jacket on. It was pretty cold the other day, but it is particularly cold today. I think we're rounding at about 30 degrees right now. So we actually had to leave the property the other day because, well, my phone died. And whenever you're doing all this LiDAR stuff with our inlet base, so we have right over, where are you? I am not going right. You can see it back there. Where are you? Yeah, right there. So anyways, my phone is actually what links up the base back there. That's how I'm able to get all the LiDAR data into my computer, which we will look at later. So we did get our first flight going, but, and I'll show you this data right now. There was something wrong with particularly this end over here, right back here. There's a big gap in the data. You'll see that in the footage that I'm showing you. And so we're gonna refly, and we never got around to doing our slam. And I actually came back here yesterday, and well, it was snowing up here. There was snow on the ground. There was fog in the air. It was misty. It was just plumb not good weather to fly LiDAR equipment. So with that, we are actually going to fly it again. We're gonna fly this thing again. We're gonna do our slam, which we didn't get to do the other day. So we still have a few things we need to figure out. So come with me on this day 2 of this surveying adventure. All right, so this is what I use for my LiDAR equipment. It's the Rock Robotic R3 Pro. In the other videos, I usually am not able to film a whole lot of it because my phone's connected to the inlet base. But this is what we use for our LiDAR equipment. You can see right here, this is what I use to connect to this guy right here. And this is the guy that goes on to the drone itself. You can see this is where the gimbal goes on and connects. Yeah, so this is the actual LiDAR equipment. This is the R3 Pro from Rock Robotic. This thing is really awesome. We connect that to our slam base as well. I'm being very careful here as I handle it with one hand, just trying to keep it really close to the box. But yeah, this is really neat. I figured you guys would just like to get a look at all that thing. All inside that black there is where the sensors are. So I'm going to put this back in here. I'm going to turn my phone off and just make sure that I'm really careful with this thing. All right, so this is our DJI M350 RTK. You got the R3 Pro right there. This thing is really, really awesome. So I'll just show you get up close since you've already kind of got the up close. This is where the gimbal comes in. You want to make sure those red dots are aligned and all that stuff. Look at the R3, it's so clean. So I attached this antenna, which goes down to the gimbal right there. Yeah, these wings are pretty awesome. This thing's really cool. I'm really, really happy with this thing. It's so much fun to fly. And if you're a pilot with the FAA, make sure you do those logbooks. Don't forget those logbooks. We love our logbooks. So we're gonna break this thing down here. I took the batteries out, put them in the bank, and then we'll be just back to it here in a minute. Like I say, it's really hard to do this stuff just with one hand, so I'm gonna put it on a tripod. Watch me from afar. All right, so we're gonna break this thing down. I'm gonna start with the R3. Like to go up here with the antenna first. Be very careful with this guy. Yeah, that's that guy. Get our R3 case here. Here. We'll put our camera shutter back onto the front of our camera here. That's on the LiDAR. And the next thing we're gonna do, press this little button on the side. Oh, Nick, fix your. Gotta fix my toboggan. My wife will make fun of me. So we're gonna put the LiDAR just right in here. Let me fix my toboggan. So we'll put this guy, just like how I showed you earlier. Be careful, don't hit the wings. Boop. So this thing right here comes with a cover for a reason. You don't want these things to break. These things are awesome. There you go. So we'll put that guy in here. We got everything for the R3 Pro off the drone. All right, you can see me pretty good now. So the first thing I like to do is just close up all of my wings. Remember, nice and careful with all these. I'm not using a lot of pressure at all. I like to make sure that they're all in smooth condition. And just like on our R3 Pro, there's a cover that you need to put on where the gimbals meet. So we'll come over here. Where is that guy? Yeah. There it goes. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, we are going to take off each one of these. So they just have a nice tight screw that you use to just whoop, whoop. Just come around and do that to all those. Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna close up our wings. We're gonna do them very carefully. This one goes first. It goes right like that. And we'll do this one, make sure the wings are nice and taken care of. I'm gonna try to close it this way so you can see me while I do it. So remember, you wanna take this guy out first, very carefully. Close and close. All right. So we're gonna take our drone and put it over here in a safe spot while I open up the case and prepare it to pack. All right. So this just kind of comes with some screws and wipes and a brush that I actually used before we started today. All right, now we're gonna put our controller up. Put it this way, that way, and bada book. All right, so very safely, we're gonna put our drone in the case. I like to kind of get my fingers up like this, just like that. Keep our hands over it, and just slowly, like a glove, place it right in there. That's nice. All right, now it's time to close this thing up. We'll take these legs right off here. Just got to twist and slowly put your drone up. Don't want to break this thing, so I'm just slowly taking it off. There we go. All right, we'll close that guy. There it is. All right, that looks good. I don't think we need, yep, no, nothing else. Good to go. There they are together. Need to get a Owens surveying sticker to put on this thing, right? I was thinking maybe right here. All right, so I got some reflective tape. We're going to use that for our slam to see if this is worth using, reflective or not. Who knows? We're going to put on a couple of these trees in the area, and we'll just use that as a basis on whether or not these cheap little things were good to use for our alignment targets. So let's try it. All right, so here's our reflective tape that we're going to use. It's kind of like a silver color. It's about that long, but we're going to cut it in half. We're going to see how well this works. Maybe I didn't pick the best tree for this example, but we're going to, this is what this is for, right? We're testing this out. That was satisfying. I'm not sure if you heard that. Put that trash in our pocket because we don't want to litter. Bunch of degenerates. Oh, snap. Ripped off a little bit. Well, it's okay. See how well that fits on there. Ooh. That's on there pretty good, actually. Oh, I don't like that it's cracking right there. You see that? Ooh, this stuff's very crackly. I bet there are some people watching this right now being like, this guy is a fool. But we're testing it. All right, did y'all hear that? Y'all listen to this. So satisfying. I love that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I got this stuff stick together. Oh. All right, let's just go while we're up. Oh no. Wow, well this is, oh no. Oh, this stuff is just not working, guys. Well, maybe I'm learning a lesson on being more careful with the reflective tape. Also, I'm realizing you probably have not been seeing me do this the whole time. There it is. That's how I've been messing it up. Look, we just made ourselves a little cross. Crud. Well, I guess I'll just, look at this. This stuff is falling apart in my hand. What am I supposed to do? So this looks all right. I'm pretty happy with this. We're gonna put on another, we're gonna do another one of these. Hopefully do it a little better than that one. And then we have one more that we're gonna do. We're gonna put on another tree somewhere around here. All right, I probably look like a goober, but it's cold out here. And we're gonna keep on with our tests. You like my Society of Surveyors buff? I do too. It's my brother's. He doesn't like that I take his things. but I do, because that's what brothers do. All right, anyway, let's see if I can get this. Let's see if I can get this working. This is a vlog at the same time, right? Watch my woes. All right, so these are a little smaller, so they shouldn't be as brittle, I don't think. Yeah, they look more flexible. So hopefully these things won't break as easily as the other ones did. But we're gonna make like a box out of this one. Maybe put an X since we got floor. Well, should I do something like that? You know? I don't mind it. Maybe. No, that's a waste. Well, let's figure it out. Let's do it one by one here. I'll bring it pretty low. Ooh. Oh, come on, stay. Come on, I know you want to. Oh, man. This one might not stick, y'all. I don't know. Come on, maybe it'll work a little better. Maybe I need to work on what texture of tree I put this on. But it's a good test, you know, it's a test. That looks good. Ooh, maybe I should keep with the cross theme, you know what I'm saying? This. Well, can't really see that. Well, yeah, you should be able to see that. I like that. I think that looks pretty good. Much better than the other one. Hopefully it comes up. Look at that. Nice little cross. I think it should come up in the data set pretty well. I've seen some people do like spray paint, but I don't really want to spray paint the trees. I like the trees. There's the aerial target. All right, so this was the spot in the data set. Just didn't really show up very well. Just right here. You know, with all that stuff too. So we're gonna put down this reflective tape again. Let's see. It was brittle last time we tried to get it on there. Now it's... Oh, look at that, broke off again. All right, let's see if we can get that. There we go. Yep, I love that sound. All right, I'm gonna put it right here on this rock. Let's see. I'm not sure if it's liking this texture. It doesn't really like any texture. Probably. Yeah. I don't know. I like the yellow stuff better right now. Now let's get this guy. Okay, right there. Great sound. Okay. Man, it likes to get stuck. Oh well. Let's get the... Oh no. Ooh, you gotta be careful with this stuff. All right, here we go. We're doing our ground LiDAR. It's gonna be really interesting to see how all this stuff works. Well, not all of this, but the reflective tape that I put on the trees. We'll see how it works. I would take you with me, but this is gonna be a pretty long walk, and it'd be really almost painful to hold both of these things at the same time. Although I'm sure that'd be very entertaining to see me struggle walking around this whole entire space with this, but I'm afraid I'm not walking around this whole property with both of these in my hand. Maybe if I had one of those things, you know. All right, but here's our other one. I like this one a lot better. I think it's gonna show up really well. How long it could stay there? Ooh. Might not stick for this whole entire walk, but we're gonna go check. Let's do this. All right, so this might just be the raw data, but do just look at what I'm looking at here. It's really cool. Just right over there, you can see that. reflective marker that I stuck on that tree, the one that we were having so much struggles with. You can see that right there. Can you see it at all? It's that guy right there. It's that tree. Yeah, there you go, a little bit better. That marker right there is that one right there. There's the other one. That's the one that we did right over there. This is raw data too, so it's not going to look perfect. I'll show you the real data after this. So I'm going to do another slam. Basically, this is an opportunity for me to be able to really tighten up those edges. Really just make sure everything looks good. Get everything that we need. All right, so here's our first flight that I showed you earlier that had this little gap here in the data set. Zoom down here, I showed you this just a little earlier. So we flew it 2 other times after this, and you can see that we ran into the same problem. The reason that this happened was because we were just a little overcautious, maybe. Flew it pretty high, got a little over 200 feet, which is not the recommended height to fly LiDAR. Here's the third one as well. You can see there's that gap in the data, so that's where our slam comes in. And so this filled in the gap that we needed to fill in here. And you can see right here, this is our reflective tape that we put on. That came out really well. So that was a test. Next time we'll take the robot out and we'll shoot that in and put an actual point where that reflective tape is. You can see it over here as well. It looks really nice. So the ground LiDAR just filled in the gaps for us really well, and we merged the data together. Let that load in so you can see the reflective tape. Yeah, that's on the rock. That's the one that I was sitting by. Okay. So a few months back, we flew the same. We flew the property that was right next to the property that we flew in the video. And I'll show that to you right now. This is right beside it. You can see it's just looks a little different. We flew this right at the beginning of September, mid-September, so there was still a good deal of trees, or still a good bit of leaves on the trees. And so what I did was I took this data set right here, I took my first flight, and then I took my slam, and I merged it together. Okay. So this is the merged data. You can see where the line is where they merged in. So the reason you see a little different tone here on the trees where they mix in is because in September there were still a good deal of leaves, and you can see the color difference there versus on the other property where we flew this at the beginning of January, so there were no leaves on the trees. So yeah, basically when we have gaps in the data, it's really easy, or it's really good to use the ground LiDAR to go in and fill in those gaps. So the gap that you saw here on the first flight, this guy right here, is filled in right here. You can zoom into the ground here so you can see where I'm talking about. Let that load in. You can see how that merged together to make the greater data set and fill in where we needed it to fill in for us.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the high vegetation out. So you can see this was where our slam mixed in with it. This little area right here, I know it looks like a big gap, but that's not a part of the property, so we're not really going to worry about that. I'm going to show you the contours that were generated. Yeah, it looks really nice. So you can see how that merged together. That gives us one great big data set. And while we got contours on this job, but these contours flaked off and just are not ideal for what we want to provide. So when we filled that in, all these contours that just kind of flaked off in the greater data set fill in and look much better.
All right, so that's been this video. You know, look at that view. That is pretty amazing. You know, make sure to please give us a like, a comment, subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in see what I'm doing, ask me what I'm doing. I'd be happy to explain to you what I'm doing to the best of my ability. You know, I hope that you enjoyed the video. You got to see me deal with some woes with LiDAR. You got to see me deal with some fun aspects of this job out here on the job. You know, any day flying a drone is a fun day. I think that is a very good motto to go by. So I've been Nick. You've been you. That mountain is awesome and beautiful. Bye-bye.